Hey guys, what happens when you don't have a session 0 and all the players, including the GM, all want something different from the game? A mess. A mess is what you get. Okay, so let me get this off my chest because I don't know how our D&D sessions will continue to go. My friend, who is our DM, is pretty big into D&D, and he plays with another group weekly or bi-weekly, and he's been doing such for about 2 or 3 years now. He noticed that my friends and I were interested in it, but we had never played, so he decided to DM for us if we all agreed to take it seriously and commit to playing every week. I made a half-elf warlock. Friend 1 made a Aarakocra wizard, and friend 2 made a paladin dragonborn. DM looked them over and helped us make some tweaks, and we were ready to play. We decided to get into it because we had all gotten Tabletop Simulator on Christmas holiday season, and figured we would play on that. So, DM set it all up on Tabletop, and had maps and models, as well as music and weather effects. We never had a session 0, so in hindsight, I see that this was a huge problem. But the story started with us being bound and in a carriage on our way to who knows where. It was the 3 of us and an old man in the back, and we didn't know what to do, so the wizard decided to put one of the guards to sleep by casting sleep. So I managed to make up a lie, being proficient in deception. I had a successful roll, and I lied about being a doctor and how he would need to unbind me and my dragonborn assistant so that we could treat him. We got let out, and the dragonborn rolled a 19 on a choke attempt on the guard that let us out. And at that point, we were now free men and bird. And then, this is where things got eye-opening. Our bird brain decided to use his beak to try and kill the old man who we had no info on, and rolled a natural 20 so the DM allowed him to instantly kill the old man. We then got told to make a perception check, and out came 4 to 5 vampires. Eventually, the guards woke up to try and help, but one of them got killed and the other one told us to run. We almost had a party wipe here, and the DM kind of tried to give us a way out by hinting that the old man wasn't really dead, and that we should check the carriage, as there might be something in it that might help us before we run. So the wizard cast Fireball on it, and we heard screaming. And this time we were sure the old man was dead. And that was session 1, with us almost dying and about ready to flee. We never got around to playing another session in that campaign due to scheduling and maybe a lack of interest. 6 months went by and we tried again. We made a Discord just for our D&D, we added maps, robots, music bots, the works. We were ready to get into it this time, so we started the story over, since not much was accomplished the first time around. This time, the DM had our feet and hands bound, so it took us even longer to get out. And he put the old man in a cage in the carriage, so he had a bit of protection from what I later learned was a murder hobo friend. We didn't knock the guards out, and the vampires attacked. One of them tearing a hole in the wooden carriage, and peeking in and hissing at us, to which our dragonborn attempted to strangle it as much as possible. So during this, we were trying to get our weapons that were in the front, as well as getting unbound. Somehow, the bird wizard got free first, and spent the next 2 turns trying to get into the old man's cage to kill him again during the fight. In the end, half of the turns were spent on the old man being attacked, who nearly killed our friend because the old man was a more experienced wizard, as well as us giving medical to our friend, and us trying to convince the 2 to fight the vampires attacking us. This time, we actually managed to kill 2 of them, and the old man killed 1 of them, with the last one fleeing. Our murder hobo wizard had fallen asleep during the last bit of combat, so we decided we would return to the town we were taken from, as our memory came back to us. And that was the end of session 1. We met a busty babe in a destroyed town, in an inn as the sole survivor. Her name was Rose. She offered us a place to rest, as well as food, which the murder hobo consumed. We took turns talking to her, and we found out that she was a spy, and the wizard got bored, or decided it would just be fun, to crap in his hands and tried to hit her with it. She rolled higher and caught his hand. She told us just to go to bed upstairs, and to not touch her room. The murder hobo, of course, decided to go to her room. The next day, we all head out to investigate the ruined town, and Rose kicked the wizard for breach of privacy. He got mad and burned down the inn as we searched the mayor's house. We only spend about 3 hours each session, and half of it was the DM allowing the wizard to play how he wanted, even if it takes up half of our session time. But in any case, the bird wizard almost died in the inn fire, which was basically his second or third time he almost died because of his own actions. Our party, with Rose now included, found info on the mayor's house. We hid from a mysterious black-armored party, and we went to the next town, where our murder hobo decided to take control of the situation again. We camped, slept, woke up, and our DM explained a escorted carriage coming down the road. And before the DM could even describe the carriage, our wizard threw a fireball at it. Guards came out of the carriage, and Rose, myself, and the Dragonborn came out with our hands up, surrendering, and the murder hobo casted Frostblast, and combat started. We managed to convince the guards we weren't with him, and he got hit for 27, and he got knocked out, and thrown into prison. And we were able to get a ride to the town with the noble war hero who was in the carriage. In the town, we got our first real bit of RP and gameplay. We met Rose's sister Lily, and it turned out that Rose is a spy and Lily is a spy master, and had us sent to a cave while the wizard got every chance to be let out of jail, but just kept talking crap to the guards and the noble. While the wizard was being tortured, detaloned, and plucked, we went to the cave and got some story about the vampires. We had a small fight with some more vampires, and we met a potential BBEG. And then we headed back to town, where a troll had taken a boy and were sent to another cave. We decided to rest until night and head out. Things split up, and we went back to the Wizard's End, where the DM gave him a chance at a prison escape arc, where he snuck about halfway out, and then he got caught. So a chase scene began, and was eventually caught in the end, and eventually had his character executed for crimes against a war hero and attempted escape. This is the main reason I'm making this post, because I feel awful about the next turn of events. He took over for another character of a friend who made a character, but couldn't get into it. We followed the information to the cave and brought Rose, as well as a guard who I persuaded for some extra help, as well as our friend's new character, Cog, who is a fighter giant, I believe. The cave had 2 trolls, and our DM had said that he scaled them down. We were about level 3 at this point, and had to fight 2 14 AC, 80 health trolls. Our first real fight, and our first real boss. I was scared, but excited to finally make use of my patron's book of cantrips. The fight took 2 hours. We all rolled a nat 1 at least once. However, we did stop them from cooking and eating the boy, and we actually managed to kill one, to which the other one enraged and almost killed me. Another 30 minutes went by, and we managed to finally kill the second one. I decided to carve the enraged troll open with an arcana and an investigation check. I wanted to keep going and search the rest of the cave, but our other 2 PCs were tired, or annoyed, how long the fight took, and wanted to get off. We usually go from 8 PM to 11 or 12 once a week, so it was midnight and our session ended. I talked to the players the next day, and they were kind of annoyed at how slow our pacing was, and it felt like we didn't accomplish much per session, even though we spend 3 or 4 hours. As well as them being annoyed at how the DM put a party of level 3s and 2 NPCs against 2 trolls at such an early level. I'm having a blast with the game when I'm not dealing with a murder hobo. But it seemed like one person was annoyed that he couldn't murder hobo everything, and the other one was feeling like D&D should be faster paced. So I brought it up to our DM that maybe we should all sit down and hash it out, because it doesn't feel like they're having fun on their end. The DM was upset on hearing this because the pacing was constantly being slowed because of one of the players. And now the DM was thinking of ending the campaign since it didn't seem like any of us, except maybe me, were getting what they wanted out of it. And if it's not fun, then why create a story and DM for players who aren't into it or want to speed by everything? And now I feel like a rat for going behind their backs and telling the DM about their gripes with the combat and pacing when all I want to do is keep playing. But in any case, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a story that you'd like me to narrate, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.